What if courage isn't something you feel, but something you choose even when you don't feel ready? Welcome back to the couch. I'm Caitlin, a licensed therapist who loves anime, and this is your monthly couch chat. Okay, so this month we spent time with Mary and the Witch's Flower, Fruits Basket, and Demon Slayer. And while these stories are very different, they kept returning to something surprisingly quiet. Not power, not transformation, but courage in its most subtle forms. In Mary and the Witch's Flower, we watched Mary struggle with feeling like she wasn't enough and what it meant to rely on something external to feel capable. In Fruits Basket, Hanajima's story showed us what it's like to grow up feeling misunderstood and how deeply being accepted can begin to shift that. And in Demon Slayer, the Mount Natagumi arc explored fear, control, distorted versions of connection, while still holding space for empathy even in the middle of conflict. What stood out to me is that none of these stories rushed transformation. They allowed growth to be gradual and imperfect. And that's where this month's deeper thread began to emerge. The moment that stayed with me wasn't loud. It was Mary choosing to keep going after the magic was gone. No power, no external validation, no guarantee, just her. I feel like the thread that kept showing up was quiet courage. The kind that shows up when you feel unsure, when you feel alone, or when you feel like you don't quite belong, and you still move forward anyway. What all of these stories highlight is that courage doesn't begin with confidence. It begins with discomfort. Mary feels inadequate. Hanajima feels isolated. Zenitsu feels terrified. And yet movement still happens. And that's the kind of courage that's different, right? It's not built on certainty. It's built on strength and tolerance. The ability to stay present with self doubt, fear, uncertainty without letting those things decide your next step. Because a lot of the time we think, I'll act when I feel ready, or I'll try when I'm not afraid. But these stories show something else. They show that readiness doesn't always come first, sometimes action does. And over time, that action begins to reshape how we see ourselves. Not all at once, not dramatically, but gradually. They don't stop feeling what they feel, they just stop waiting for those feelings to change first. No, Mochi. Mochi, please. Just hold out for your mama, okay? Do it for your mama.
Golly.
Hold on. You can have it squeak all you want, okay? You work with me, I work with you,
Look
okay?
at you like, bitch, why? It's just not for me.
Just hold on. Alright. Alright, and let me see if we can get this. Where in your life might you be waiting to feel ready before allowing yourself to try? And what would it look like to take one small step forward, even if that feeling never fully arrives? Next on the couch, what are we going to be looking at? Princess Mononoke. I'm actually really excited to watch this because it's been on my list forever and I've heard a lot of good things about it. So, very excited for us to sit down and watch that one. And of course, we're going to be continuing Fruits Basket and Demon Slayer. So, wherever you are right now, if things feel uncertain or unfinished or not quite where you want them to be, maybe courage doesn't have to be loud here. Maybe it looks like something quieter, like reminding yourself at the end of the day, I will try again tomorrow. And on that note, rest easy, feel deeply, and I'll see you in the next session. Bye.